Hi there, and welcome to my channel, which I'm still calling Work in Progress, because this is where we're kind of, the idea is coming together, but we're still in the beginning phases of this, is to discover how we're, as humans, we're much more alike than not alike. And my idea of doing this is to get people to share their challenges, their experiences, things they've been through. People like you and me, every Joe Blow out there, not somebody that's necessarily been an author or a guru or anything like that. I mean, I'm open to everything, but I'm trying to get us everyday people out there to come together and share our experiences, and then really to help another. And this is how I believe we're going to discover that we're far more alike than not alike. So I'll remind again at the end of this video, but my contact information is always below the video, and I'd love for anybody listening to this that would like to share their experience to contact me. We'll do it over Zoom, and it'll be on this channel, and we'll start to see how this thing can move forward. So today, I wanted to ask a question of you. Why are you here? You know, some people believe we're here to learn something. We've come into this body to learn something that we need to learn, maybe to be more generous, or you know, some people come in perhaps with really difficult disabilities. Some people come in my case, I feel I came in to learn adversity. And how are these ideas to learn? How do they come together? I don't know. Is it from other incarnations? I'm not sure how this really goes. I'm not sure of any of it really, because obviously this is something that we're not proving, but we can get an insight to or a gut feeling about. I've heard some people say, we just come here for an experience. We come here to learn what it's like to have this human experience, to the senses that we have, the seeing, the feeling, the tasting, things that we don't have when we're on the other side. Some people say, no, we come in as a group, as a soul group, and we're characters in each other's movie, let's call it, so that we're helping that person that's the main character in this movie move through whatever their issues have been or that they want to learn. So that's why the question is, why are you here? Why did you incarnate at this time? Do you know? I'm definitely of the belief that we do come here to learn, and I think it might have something to do with past lives. I don't know for sure, or it just might be to have this experience as a human, and so we want to experience things in a different way. And maybe that's the explanation, just why some people come in with severe disabilities. Or some people come in for a short time, maybe they're the character in somebody else's movie, and then they transition to the other side rather quickly, maybe even as a child. I mean, I think there's a whole series of why, meanings, let's put it that way, of why we incarnate into these bodies. Obviously, the human experience, and I'm saying obviously like I really know, but I kind of think I do, the human experience is definitely one of all of these different senses that we have. And I think, you know, it happens where, this is my belief, that it does happen that we come into these bodies with a certain script, let's call it, that we actually wrote and got all our cast together, the characters that are going to play the different people for us, the different characters. And so we come in with this whole thing, this is what we're going to come in to learn or do or be. I don't know, you know, be an entertainer, be an Oprah Winfrey, who knows? all over the place, right? And so we come in to do this thing, but the memory is wiped out, completely wiped away once we incarnate into the body. And so we don't remember really who we are. And who we really are is the spirit that wants to have this experience. The higher self, the source. We're all different aspects of that. But we forget. We forget how powerful we are. We forget the whole thing. And we start to think that we're the character, the main character in this movie. And that's where we get lost, because we begin to identify with this illusion of a character. Call it the ego, is probably what's most commonly used. But we get lost in this idea, like, oh my God, okay, I think I'm this individual having this experience, where in reality, we are the observer. We're this piece of the spirit that came in to have the human experiences, but we're not the character. We're not our thoughts, we're not our beliefs, we're not the programming that we received as children, we're not our childhood trauma, we're not the wounds that we've experienced from these traumas. We are spirit, pure, true spirit, having this experience of being in this human drama, let's call it, or movie, or play. But we forget. So that's the premise of the game. Now, the other part, though, is, I believe, we're coming in to try to remember really who we are. And when we can do that, we have a completely different experience, because when we're no longer identified with being the doer, that character, main character in our movie, then we're experiencing everything from an observational point of view as the observer, but we're having the actual human experience of all the senses, but knowing we're not that character. Now, one of the things why I'm bringing this up is I wanted to talk just very little bit, I'm going to make this video kind of short, that even though we're not the doer, once we can get clear on that, and believe me, that takes a lot of time. I think it's one of those ongoing processes that we're always in and out of, in a way, because it's really easy to get pulled back in. We can learn it, we can understand it on the intellectual level, that we're not the doer, but the experiential level can come and go, or certainly takes a certain amount of time. But once we understand that, then there's a whole different lens that we're looking through. But what I wanted to clarify is, just because we're not the doer, we're not our thoughts, we're not our beliefs, we're not any of it, doesn't mean that we navigate through this human life without being responsible. So it's a paradox, because we're got one foot in each place, so to speak. And the art of doing this is to actually be able to navigate on knowing who we really are, but being in the world, but not of the world. So that's the tricky part. That's the tricky part. Because there is a responsibility of being here. It's not like, oh, well, I'm not the doer, so who cares what I do, what I say, blah, blah, blah. No. We're following a script of some sort, whatever that happens to be. Yours is yours, mine is mine, and if we meet, we're playing in each other's movie. But we're responsible. So people get confused with this idea and kind of take it to a place of, oh, well, this is all an illusion. This is just a dream. So it really doesn't matter what I do, or I'm just not responsible, you know? most of us would find that anyway hard to do, just believe we're not responsible. But I understand, because I'm there, that the challenge is to say, okay, I'm not the doer. I'm not this character. That's just a made-up identity. And that identity started to happen once I was into this body as a child, and learned different ways of who I thought I was. And the different ways are through your family, your culture, your race, your religion, your all those beginning things. We begin to then make this character up. It'd be like a screenwriter or a person that writes novels, to say, oh, I'm going to have this character doing this, this, and that. So that's kind of what we're doing. We make up this character. And then this character, we believe who we are, and that's where the problem comes in. We shouldn't call it a problem, but the challenge. Let's call it the challenge. And so as we get more to the understanding, no, I'm not the doer. It's the higher self, is what I call it. People call it God, you can call it the universe. Something else is running the show. In my case, like I said, I call it my higher self is running the show. That little character, that part of me that was believing that's who I am, is not who I am. Bottom line, I'm not the doer. So how does this work? Well, really briefly, and this needs to be a discussion that's ongoing, in my opinion, is there is our guides. For me, it is my guides, and I do a lot of automatic writing, and that's where I really get in touch with my guides, and I've been in touch with my guides from the time I was a young child. Now, when I'm in the right mindset and in the right place, then it's kind of this, I'm going to call it a conversation that goes on with my guides. That's how I can connect with how what's ever happening out here, the connection to my guide, that it's not me, the doer. It's a really hard thing to explain because it's such a fine line between the two. It's like I said, kind of like an art to doing this, and it takes a lot of practice. And when to realize, no, I'm not the doer, but I'm having the experience of this being done, and it's happening, coming through me. I'm just the conduit, or that where this experience is coming. It's like when we're driving our car, we get in our car, we drive our car. We know we're not the car; it's a vehicle, right? We're driving it, and but it's the vehicle. The car is not who we are. The car is just getting us from here to there. So our bodies are kind of like that. They're the vehicle to get us the experience that we came in to learn or to experience. So I'm putting this out there because I'm guessing that if you're listening to my channel, you know what I'm talking about to some degree, and you probably have different levels of how you're understanding this, just like I have my level of how I'm trying to understand this. But I think it could be a great conversation to have with some of you who have gone through this back and forth kind of thing, where you say, no, I know I'm not the doer. However, I feel like the doer, and a lot of times I'm getting caught in being like the doer, and it's taking a lot of focus on my part to remember who I am. One of the things that I do is oftentimes throughout the day I say, where are you focused? Where are you focused? And what are you tuned into your guides? And my guides for me are very, very powerful and very important. And I've learned more in the more recent times to really feel when they're actually around me without being in a meditative state or in a automatic writing exercise. It's more just feeling them around me and starting to learn to ask for help or ask for guidance, so that I'm recognizing that that whatever's going on is coming through this body that's the vehicle. So I don't want to say any more about that right now because it could just sound like I keep repeating the same thing in different ways, which I do. But I think it's more helpful to have it in bits and pieces rather than trying to swallow it all at the same time, a big gulp. So I hope that this helped someone. I hope that some of you are relating or resonating on some level with that you're not the doer. Would love to have a conversation with some of you. My contact information is always below the video. Love to do a Zoom talk and then on this channel with some of you in terms of how are you navigating this idea. It's a challenging idea, and I think we could talk about it for a long, long time and still never run out of an interest in how this works or what we can do to help ourselves get into that groove where you're not the doer, but you're in the movie's going on, and you're the observer, and you're having the experience. Yeah. So, if you like this video, please click like. Also, I hope you'll subscribe to the video, and then that little doodad next to the subscribe button is, if you click on that, then you'll know when new videos are being posted. So I think that's it. And don't forget to look below for my contact information. Comments are always welcome. Please put comments down. That's great. And let's see if a few of us couldn't get together and start having these conversations on Zoom and be able to post them on this channel. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. Hope you're going to have a great day. Take care.